Hello and welcome to another video from the fanpub.com. It's Alan and Sean back again.
Great to be back, and this is a video that we did last year that was very well received.
Yeah, it's our first mock draft for the season actually. It's 12 team, 4-point PPR. We're using the draft wizard on Fantasy Pros to do it.
Standard positions, no unique scoring, is that right?
Yeah, so it's one QB, two running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and 1 flex with 1 defence and 1 kicker, and 7 on the bench.
Fantastic.
Okay. We've got pick 9, which is
typical for us.
Yeah,
we normally get the back end of the
draft.
draft.
Who wants a high pick?
Yeah, who needs them? Anyway, let's. Oh, blimey, that's very good value, isn't it?
No, DeAndre Hopkins. Can we
wow,
turn that down
I
now?
don't think we can we? That's interesting. First pick off the board. We're just looking to see who would drop down to us running back wise, and there are some interesting players there, but I can't turn DeAndre Hopkins down in our PPR, 4-point PPR.
I don't think you can you?
I'd have to draft him, and this may set the whole present of our team up going forward. We'll see what happens next.
Let's just see. Right, okay.
I'd like to get a running back here, and I think the one that interests me is still sitting there. And I know it's odd because you've got Melvin Gordon, but I just like Dalvin Cook. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, what we saw...
They're both great, but that sample size was so exciting, and I just want to have a piece of that somewhere. And
although he is by week 10, which is the same as DeAndre Hopkins.
that could become a problem, but I'm not turning him down based on his bye week at this stage of my drafting. I think I'm going to quite happily...
Okay, well, you get no arguments from me. What we saw from Cook looked brilliant.
However, in a few picks' time, we might see a lot of bye week 10. You never know. That's what happens.
Okay, so we're locking Cook in as our second pick. Hopkins and Cook, quite very happy with that. The first
quite exciting. And Stephon Diggs is sitting there. That's what's being offered up, and that's also exciting. But of course, that means bye week 10.
But who needs to play by week?
Yeah. But it is
10.
just too good, isn't it? I mean, you've taken it straight. You've not even hesitated, have you? You just whipped that straight off the board. Now this is interesting as well. Here we go. So we've got Mixon here. That's not bad value. Is there anybody else?
Just going to hide the drafted player so we can see who's available.
Okay. Is there anybody else there that really floats your boat? I mean, just looking ahead here.
Joe Mixon, maybe.
Yeah.
Wide receivers.
I'm steering away from Cooper and Tate and Josh Gordon. Juju Smith-Schuster is a bit banged up at the moment. I'm not liking that. Crabtree doesn't really offer me much, and I think at that stage is there any point looking any further because we're not likely to take one this round. Running backs, I'm not totally enamoured, and I think they would come back to us. Although Joe Mixon is very tempting here at this stage, he is likely to get all the work. I don't think there's any competition. The job's all his.
No, I mean, Gio might get some third down work, but Mixon's only 21. He's actually younger than a lot of the people coming into the league this year.
Would you be disappointed? I don't think so. I mean,
no,
you've got Cook, Hopkins, Diggs and Mixon. That seems quite strong to me.
Yeah, that's quite a nice.
I'm hoping,
and he's not by week 10.
I'm hoping the quarterback I really, really wanted went off the board, but I can't knock Russell Wilson sitting there
we'll take Russell
in the 5th round.
I think he was
so elite.
I think him and Gurley were the top 2 scorers in PPR last year. So adding that as our 5th piece to
this team, and it will be a lovely piece to add here. So loving that. Yeah, can't go wrong. And it was about the right moment to strike.
I mean, he's offering us Pierre Garçon as a top wide receiver. So
right. So let's look.
No brainer. We're taking.
Okay, so we still need to add. So we've got good balance. We've got a quarterback, 2 running backs, and 2 wide receivers. Looks like fine balance to me. Mark Ingram, we did look at this a little while ago actually, and we were thinking about this in a draft strategy.
I mean, Penny could be a 3-down back.
He could.
Not that we like the O-line, but would you... I mean, Ingram was missing 4 games.
He is missing 4 games, but when he played last year, the year before that, he's very, very consistent and solid and everything. That's a very, very good high-octane offense. What do you honestly think at this stage of the draft? Would you prefer to go with the more interesting player in terms of Rashid Penny, but it's completely unproven in an O-line that you don't like, to be honest? And I don't blame you for that. That is one of our problems with owning just Russell Wilson. We probably have to back him up with another quarterback at some stage. Or do we go down the route of Mark Ingram for safety, knowing we missed 4 weeks of the season, but we have that player coming back into our team? That is quite nice. Interesting conundrum here. Or do you want to swerve in a different direction? What do you think?
I don't mind either, to be honest. I think I'd just take Penny, I think.
Okay.
Because, another drugs test for failure for Ingram, and that's his career gone, probably.
Yeah, I like it. I do like Penny. It is the time to strike for rookies in this sort of level of league. You've got to take a punt. You're not going to get them all. You've got to take a punt on someone. Penny's great. He's going to get 3 double. And we happen to have Russell Wilson, so we kind of get a boom.
I'm
here.
trying to think. There's been a few players that missed the first 4 games. I mean, and then they've struggled to really get into the season.
It happens.
Because a lot of the teams are well ahead of you. I mean, Brady obviously came back and he was elite as usual.
And also remember this: when you're not out there, because he can't train with a coach, you won't be able to. Sorry, you won't be able to train with the team.
He won't be allowed in the facility.
You won't be allowed anywhere near it. And obviously, as the games start, so once they're in September and the games are live, you're already adjusting to what you're seeing from teams. So
and you can be fit.
You can be well back on that because you're 4 weeks out of the adjustment.
But match fit is different.
Yeah, different game. I agree with you. I'm happy to take.
Should we take a chance on the rookie?
I take a chance on the rookie. Add him to the team. We'd be using him in probably a bench or flex spot at this stage, as they've suggested. No problem with that. And we weren't like to get both, but we're in an interesting spot. What do you think to Sammy Watkins here, or somebody along that ilk? Does that interest you, or do you think that's still not right? Or would you prefer again?
Well, Sammy Watkins has been, we're, in well before the season at the moment when we're recording this, and the early signs are Watkins and Mahomes are linking up well. But we don't know
whether that will hold long enough.
But Watkins is still young. I think he's only 24 or 25. He's now.
There's a lot of interest in backs as well there that look very good.
You got
for
Roy
value.
Freeman, a rookie back.
You got Sonny Michel, and you got Ronald Jones the second. They're all interested. We've already got one. Do we
Duke
really
Johnson
want to
catches a lot of passes. But
he does.
Very murky backfield.
I don't like that now. That backfield worries me a little bit more. So, which way would you go here? I mean, I would probably. I think there's enough running backs to believe one will come back to us, and we've got Sammy Watkins. That seems quite nice. I think we're going to get one of those running backs coming back, and we can get Rab.
And he's going on our bench, so it's not like
it's not a starter.
If he doesn't break out, then
we'll see who comes back. Well, you've got pretty much all of them sitting there.
Yeah,
and that's pretty awesome. So, which one do you like? You've got Freeman, Michelle, and Ronald Jones. Unless you like Duke or Lamar Miller more.
I like all of them actually. I don't like Tevin Coleman as well.
Yeah.
Especially in PPR, 4-point PPR.
Don't mind it at all. So the choice is yours. Which one do you like?
Duke catches a lot of passes, but a murky backfield. Lamar Miller, I think he's had 150 points the last 4 years, although it's a bit murky.
I think it's a bit more tricky this year for him. I like Royce Freeman, as you know, and I do like.
Let's go Royce Freeman then.
I do like it because
I'll back you, Royce Freeman.
Yeah, I like
week 10.
It's a problem for us, but we can cope. I think.
Yeah.
10 weeks into a fantasy season, you'll know a lot by then.
We're quite big fans of Royce
and a good job we did take it there, because you look what's coming off the board. A lot of those players got stripped away, so it really was our last chance to own one of them. So we did get one of them, so I think that was a good pick. There are some other players underneath the bubble that I like, but they're a little bit lower down. That's a really, really fantastic value player sitting there at 45 on the wide receiver depth. Nelson Aguilar seems so cheap here.
Yeah.
Are you more, because it's PPR, it's just not worth it?
I actually prefer Marquise Goodwin.
Do you? Well, then that's fine with me as well, because I like both.
Because Garoppolo, he really stepped up with him, and I think he's probably their wide receiver one.
So for that value, and the fact that we're just adding to what we've already got, because I do not like, I don't mind the 2 wide receivers we got. They're only going to be out of the action for literally, if they stay healthy, that 1 week of the whole season, and that's DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs. We could be looking at a very nice set. And all we need is players to step in where required or used for trade. So Marquise Goodwin looks good value.
Yeah, you happy with him?
Yeah, I'm fine, comfortable with that.
Let's do it.
Very comfortable. It's a really good pick. This is a really strong squad, with a lot of depth, a lot of players I like.
And that's what you're looking for, because you do get injuries, you do get things not turning out quite the way, and you need these people to step in.
Well,
you need this sort of depth in your team.
It's not a bad suggestion with Jack Doyle, but I mean our recent video, if you haven't seen it, it's worth looking back on for this week. Talks a little bit about Jack Doyle, and I think I'm not really interested in the tight end at this stage.
Well, because
of
Eric Ebron, we just don't know which one.
I'm not interested in drafting any of those at
He's
this
not
stage.
excited enough to take here.
I mean, you've got Nick Chubb, he's cheap, and he's 44. That's cheap,
murky backfield.
but very murky. You've got Kerryon Johnson if you fancy it. But
Kerryon Johnson, they talked about being a 3-down back. And if that is correct, I know it is a very, very murky. You've got Theo Riddick who catches passes, Abdullah who does. They've got
it worries me.
They've
never kind of produced a running back in a very. I think their last true running back is a long time.
Here, I mean, Crowell.
Yeah, I can't trust him. I'm
Exactly.
not. I mean, CJ Anderson for goal line plunges makes sense, but that's redraft only. Bilal Powell could be useful, but I'm not quite buying into New York Jets. Chubb is Cleveland. Can't quite buy it yet. James White, I don't see it. Deontay Foreman, maybe big upside.
But we can get him later.
But you can get him later. So I get
Now
that.
tell me who you like here then. I don't mind Stills, I don't mind Crowell, I don't mind Johnson.
I'm happy to go with Kerryon Johnson, just simply to thin the running back pool that exists out there. And
Jimmy G's also interesting, but there's plenty there.
He is, and he could be a player we consider.
You could
next.
pick Derek Carr a lot later though.
Yeah.
Kerryon Johnson?
I think so.
It's starting to have young rookies. I mean,
and we need a couple of different bye week players to slide in when required. So it does.
They're very bullish about Kerryon Johnson, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, is still Jimmy G still there? Bilal Powell still there?
I quite like Jimmy G. We've got Russell Wilson, but we've got to worry about that O-line, and we need somebody. As long as it's not the same bye week, we should snap him up. And he's bye week 11, which is okay with our team.
But he's still got Mahomes and Carr and...
Yeah, I mean, I like the upside of Mahomes, as you know, but we've got Russell Wilson, who's arguably he is a top 5 Premier quarterback. It's just if anything happens, who else do we like that's underneath the bubble that could be a good player for this year? Jimmy Garoppolo is a good player for this year.
You know, I'm going to throw one into the mix here. Yeah. Controversial one.
Go on.
Doug Martin.
Again, I don't mind that because he is a 3-down back when he's healthy. I mean, there is a huge
But he's Gruden's man. Gruden brought him in.
Do you think he'll still be there in another round? Because I think he might be, based on that.
He might be.
I would take a flyer on Jimmy Garoppolo now before he disappears.
We are picking late in this round.
I'd take a chance because Doug Martin's there at 52. There's a reasonable shot he comes back to you and you can have him first pick.
Okay.
We're going to take Jimmy G, get the second guy we need, and then hopefully you'll get Martin. But unfortunately...
No, he's still there.
He's still there, yeah. That's right.
Oh, you said unfortunately he's still there.
No, he's still there. That's good.
I know he's not exciting. I know.
Well, we're adding him on the bench.
He's very boomer. He's had 2 big years, and he's had two or three bad years. If you get him on the right year, then picking him up here...
Again, if we get it right with the team we've got, we probably don't need him.
I mean, Martavis Bryant's not going to win you a league this year.
No, but he's interesting. But he ain't going to win you anything.
As much as I like him, and the rest of sort of rookies are young players that, they're not going to, again...
Well,
Martin could be a different if he has a going year.
Let's take a speculative punt on Martin to go with what we've already got and hope we never need to use him. We just use him for trading.
Yeah.
But you never know.
We can just laugh saying, what were you thinking? That's Doug Martin, and I'll blame you for drafting him.
Well, it was your idea. Oh. So we're going to live with that. Right,
only if he's good.
We have to think about the tight end spot here, or maybe even the defence. Let's have a think about it. What defences are out there just for consideration? They've offered us Minnesota Vikings, but I can't see me taking that at this stage. I think we can wait on a defence based on what's there. Do you agree? I don't think we need to worry.
No, I mean it's only a 12.
Yeah, I think
you could. You could.
You have to judge it, but I think at this stage we don't need to worry. I think we need to think about the tight end, but is it that vital? Looking at what's left, which route would you go down? I mean, if I'm being honest, I think the sneaky pickers are Ricky Seals-Jones is really sneaky. Probably get him last round of the draft. Vance McDonald looks like really good value for Pittsburgh here, so that he could well be there in another round or two. So, do we need to rush? And should we just fill our final bench spot?
Yeah, but who would we take? Who do you like here?
Looking at what's available?
Yeah.
Not huge fan of what's sitting there at the wide receiver list.
The only player I could see there...
Yeah.
Actually, there's 2, and they're both towards the bottom end of the list.
DeMarco Murray? Would he be one you put on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, DeMarco Murray is definitely somebody that if he gets a role,
because we've already got
currently a free agent.
We've taken a risk with Murray. We might be taking a risk with Murray. That could be quite of interest.
Yeah, but they're both starting running backs on their day.
Yeah,
and that's what you got to look for. This is
deep
PPR.
Shots. Yeah,
it's deep shots. He does catch the ball. He could be. If he went to the Colts, he'd probably be their number 1.
Yeah,
and with Andrew Luck, that'd be.
Who else interests you?
I mean, we're talking ifs at this point.
Yeah, we are.
Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
He's done it before in the past, and Geronimo Allison, who nobody likes, but he high-powered offense. There's no Jordy Nelson,
and anything could happen.
Cobb's going to be in the slot.
Yeah, but he's been rubbish, hasn't
he? Yeah, exactly. So why not take a chance on someone like him? But he's way down.
We've got our last bench spot, so now's the time to take those players that you believe.
You tell me who you'd like.
I would take the chance on Geronimo Allison as a shot to nothing.
I think I would just edge DeMarco Murray first.
Okay, but that'll be our last bench spot, so it's one or the other. But we've got a lot of running back power, but you need that in a PPR league. So let's go with that. DeMarco Murray. You've convinced me straight away that's the right route to go down.
I don't mind either. Like I say, I like both of them.
If the worst case scenario we end up dropping DeMarco Murray, doesn't get a job, well, that's what you have to do sometimes.
I mean, he's literally pretty much our third last pick.
And now it's tight end. I mean, all those tight ends are still sitting there, so you've still got Vance McDonald. You've still got Benjamin Watson. That's cheap. Very good. Yeah.
Yep. Benjamin
I think
Watson now back with the Saints.
I think that's fantastic value at this stage of the draft. It's cost us nothing.
He was definitely a top 10 tight end last time.
And then we can add in a defence and a kicker, and there are quite a lot of value to be had in these positions. So we've done the traditional. We've waited till the end. There wasn't anything that came up at the right point in the draft to go in hard on. So let's look. Baltimore Ravens. That is a good pick.
I'm really happy with them.
I don't mind that at all. They've always been
let
consistent.
down by the offense last year.
Yeah,
but
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
We'd take that and see which kicker falls. And really, to be honest with you, well, I'm not sure I would take their suggested Matt Bryant. What do you think? Is there any other ones? I mean, that Will Lutz looks like quite good value, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He did well.
No, I'd be happy to take Will Lutz.
You know, I like that offense for this year for points, and I think you could have taken anybody there and got a solid job.
There wasn't a much.
B plus 88 out of 100. That seems fair. We've got a good team, plenty of depth.
Yeah, let's just recap it. So we've got Jimmy G and Russell Wilson at quarterback.
So let's look at that logically. I mean, that would, in anybody's book, that you've got a premier quarterback leading your
number
team,
2 overall.
and you've taken a player who's arguably in that second tier quarterbacks, reasonably near, at least potentially moving up the top of the list.
Jimmy G was pretty prolific at the end of last year.
He looked good.
He could be a really good value.
And
pick.
we're taking him here for the reason is, so again, it's clear for people listening in. The reason we're doing it is not because we doubt Russell Wilson. We don't doubt him, but the line is so porous, teabag-like, that we just, if anything should happen, at least we've immediately got a player we believe we can plug in and play.
Running backs, we've got Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon.
Very
two good young running backs.
Very happy with that.
And Rashid Penny.
And we've backed that up with quite a lot of running back depth. There is some shots in it, but it looks quite exciting.
That's what I mean. You've got Cook and Mixon, and we've only seen little bits from both of them really. Mixon wasn't as good as all.
Penny is a big risk here, but we're not necessarily going to start him because you might leave him out of the team week 1, and DeMarco Murray had a job. You might roll him in. If he didn't have a job, you might roll Martin in. There's a few, or you might roll Royce Freeman in if we know he's a 3-down back. So there's quite a lot to like.
Johnson.
There's a lot to like about that strategy because we've got trade bait because running backs will be a big key for some teams, and we thin the field by owning them anyway.
I think we got wide receiver 1 in Marquise Goodwin, and he goes with Jimmy G. So there's a stack there.
Yeah.
You got Diggs, he's very solid. You've got Cousins with it. Surely that can only get better.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins,
fabulous.
We don't need to tell anyone about him. Sammy Watkins, could take a step up with a quarterback with a strong arm.
But in the worst case scenario, he's solid, and that's sometimes all you need. So quite liking that, and it's a strong team, and we obviously need your feedback. Did you like it? What could we have done differently? Was there anybody that you think we missed, or do you like the team? And if you do like the team, tell us why, because we need all that feedback.
I mean, who wouldn't like a team with Doug Martin and DeMarco Murray on?
Oh, absolutely. I've got a team with DeMarco Murray. What are you talking about? They're my main starters for this year in one of my dynasty leagues. What are you talking about?
If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And, if you'd like to see more, we've got plenty more content coming up.
We look forward to telling you more about that in due course.
Yeah, please subscribe. So thanks very much for watching.
Ring that bell.